Imagine walking into a room, saying absolutely nothing, and knocking out 1,000 people just by existing really hard. That's not an exaggeration. That's literally a power in our beloved One Piece. It's called Conqueror's Haki, and it's the universe's way of saying, this person was born different. Today we're ranking the top 8 strongest Conqueror's Haki users in One Piece, with actual scenes, actual context, and yes, Oda's own confirmations. For those of you who don't know, Conqueror's Haki is the rarest of the 3 Haki types. Most people in the One Piece world will never have it. It lets you overpower weaker wills just by emitting it, knocking out anyone without the strength to resist. At its highest level, you can coat objects and even attacks with it, which is the difference between I scared a crowd and I just punched a hole through reality using only vibes. Let's begin the countdown. Number 8, Charlotte Linlin, Big Mom. Big Mom kicks off our list, and honestly, she's underrated as a Conqueror's user because her Devil Fruit does so much of the talking already. But here's the reason that earns her the spot. During the flashback explanations of her decades-long rivalry with Kaido, it's established that the two of them have clashed using Conqueror's Haki before. Collisions intense enough to be compared to actual weather events, creating storms and shockwaves just from their wills colliding. She's ranked here at the bottom of the list, not because she's weak, she's terrifying, but because, compared to the names coming up, her Haki has always lived in the shadow of her main power. It's the seasoning, not the main dish. Number 7, Silver's Rayleigh. Just being Roger's right-hand man for that long tells you everything. You can't become the Pirate King's number 2 by having a weak presence. That's not how that job works. You either have the gravity for it, or you get replaced. We could clearly see the power of Rayleigh's Conqueror's Haki when he stood before Blackbeard on Amazon Lily. Despite facing a Yonko and his crew, the Dark King showed no fear, and his sheer presence was enough to make Blackbeard back down. That's the kind of respect only the strongest Haki users in history command. He also trained Luffy after the Marineford War, passing down the knowledge and experience he had gained sailing alongside Roger. Under the Dark King's mentorship, Luffy learned to wield Haki and took his first steps toward becoming one of the strongest pirates in the world. Number 6, Kaido, the strongest creature in the world, earns this spot through the sheer dominance of his Conqueror's Haki. He was among the few characters capable of coating his attacks with advanced Conqueror's Haki, allowing him to overwhelm even the strongest opponents. During the rooftop battle in Wano, Kaido's Haki was so overwhelming that Luffy realised ordinary attacks stood no chance against him. Even after facing multiple powerful fighters back to back, Kaido continued unleashing devastating Haki-infused attacks, proving that his incredible durability and strength were matched by one of the most fearsome displays of Conqueror's Haki in the entire series. He's ranked here because, despite the monstrous output, in the end, his will got overwhelmed by someone operating on a completely different level. Number 5, Rox D. Xebec. Now here's where the list gets interesting. Rox D. Xebec barely appears in the story directly, but his reputation alone earns him this spot. Because he was the man so dangerous that Gol D. Roger and Monkey D. Garp, 2 people who otherwise wanted absolutely nothing to do with each other, had to team up just to take him down at God Valley. Stop and think about that for a second. Roger and Garp didn't team up for fun. They teamed up because the alternative was losing. So if the future Pirate King and the future hero of the Marines both looked at one guy and went, yeah, we need backup for this one. Imagine how monstrous his Conqueror's Haki actually was. This is also one of the only recorded incidents in the series where multiple Conqueror's Haki users clashed at once, reportedly generating thunderclouds visible from the battle itself, confirmed through the God Valley flashback material. Number 4, Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy lands at number 4, not because he's weak, but because the 3 names above him are operating on a tier built from decades of legend. Luffy's Conqueror's Haki has evolved into one of the greatest in the series. Back on Fishman Island, he instantly knocked out 50,000 fishmen with a single burst of Conqueror's Haki. a feat that stunned everyone present. Fast forward to Wano, and Luffy reached an entirely new level by splitting the heavens in his clash with Kaido, a legendary accomplishment previously achieved only by the strongest figures in history, from overwhelming thousands with his sheer will to standing shoulder to shoulder with the world's greatest Haki users. Luffy has more than earned his place among the very best. He awakened this power as a child, purely through the strength of his will. As the story progressed, Luffy learned to unleash it effortlessly in the heat of battle, and in Gear 5th, his Conqueror's Haki became even more prominent, crackling around him like lightning. Luffy's case for being this high is rock solid, and don't forget he is still improving every day. Number 3, Edward Newgate, Whitebeard. The man literally nicknamed the strongest man in the world. Even in his old age, Whitebeard's Conqueror's Haki remained terrifying. During the Battle of Marineford, his overwhelming presence caused weaker-willed Marines to freeze in fear before he even swung his weapon. But his greatest display came in his prime, when his legendary clashes with Roger split the heavens themselves, one of the clearest signs of top-tier Conqueror's Haki. And despite his illness at Marineford, he was still capable of shaking the entire battlefield with his sheer presence. Even dying, even riddled with what should have been fatal wounds. The man fought like retirement was a myth invented by people who never met him. Oda has gone on record confirming Whitebeard's status as one of the most complete Haki users to ever exist in the story, all maxed out simultaneously. Number 2, Gol D. Roger, the man the entire story is built around finding out about. Roger's Conqueror's Haki is considered by in-universe legends and creator confirmation alike to be on a level that very few characters in history have ever matched. One of the best demonstrations of Roger's Conqueror's Haki came during his first encounter with Kozuki Oden. Oden was already a legendary samurai, powerful enough to wound Kaido and earn the respect of the world's strongest pirates. Yet Roger casually sent him flying with a single divine departure, coating his attack in overwhelming Conqueror's Haki. If a warrior of Oden's caliber could be overpowered so effortlessly, it speaks volumes about just how monstrous Roger's Haki truly was. Oda has confirmed Roger as one of the strongest characters to ever appear in the series. And his Conqueror's Haki, even compared to people decades later, still gets referenced in hushed tones by people who actually lived through his era. Number 1, Shanks, the red-haired emperor and the single most consistently overwhelming Conqueror's Haki user shown on screen in the entire series. Shanks has repeatedly demonstrated why many consider him the greatest Conqueror's Haki user of the current era. When he stepped aboard Whitebeard's ship, his Haki was so overwhelming that weaker pirates collapsed instantly, while the very wood of the ship began to crack under the pressure. Years later in Wano, Shanks projected his Conqueror's Haki across miles of ocean, forcing Admiral Greenbull to retreat without a fight. He also used the Roger-inspired Divine Departure to instantly defeat Eustace Kid, a fellow Conqueror's Haki user who had just helped bring down Big Mom. Feats like these showcase not only the immense power of Shanks' Conqueror's Haki, but also the terrifying level of mastery he possesses over it. Despite being down an arm since literally the first chapter of the series, the man still operates like he's only using 10% effort at all times. So that's the top 8, from storm-summoning rivalries to a literal war-ending Haki clash. Let me know in the comments where you'd place Luffy and Rocks, because I already know that's the debate brewing right now. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash the like button, subscribe for more One Piece rankings, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong-willed.